purchases ledger control account, a practice. This is the question that we're going to look at. Shakopee Limited giving us balances for December 2019. So as usual, get your pen and paper. You can copy down the question. So pause the video and then we'll tackle it. Okay. So recall, the purchase ledger control comprises all of the data that affects the relationship between the business and its credit suppliers. All right. So this will give us our accounts payable. And we know that we want all the information that will increase the balance that is owed to the suppliers minus all of the information that reduces the balance that is owed to the suppliers in order to get the balance. So we know that information is made up of the credit purchases, refunds, interest charge on our overdue accounts, any dishonored checks that we may have written and the bank couldn't pay the suppliers, as well as to decrease that, we would look at the payments that we made, any returns we made to our suppliers, the discounts received that they gave us, and if we had agreed to set off anything against the sales. So the increase minus the decrease will give us the balance that is due. Right. So I'm going to show you two approaches that solve the question. First method is the horizontal presentation, which is the traditional way of doing it using a T account. So remember, you need to know what to debit and what to credit, and then which side is your debit and which side is your credit. So I've set up a little table here for you. Alright, so you could see where the information will be. Or you can ignore my numbers for the time being. So on the debit side, we have the creditor's balance brought forward. So notice that is the smaller figure now. And on the credit side, we have the creditor's balance brought forward, and it has the larger figure. Why is that so? Because the control account is measuring what this control account is measuring our relationship with our suppliers, and our suppliers are our creditors. We owe them. So when a credit increases, when a creditor increases, because credit is a liability, so when a liability increases, you credit. So that is why the bigger number is on the credit side, because that's where our balance is. And when that reduces, we debit. So let's put in the information then that will increase the balance. So the credit purchases will increase that balance, along with the interest due on the overdue accounts and any dishonored checks. Now where am I getting this information from? Well, you know I'm getting this here from the question. So credit purchases, right, along with the interest charge on the overdue accounts and anything else that would trigger. Okay, good. What then will reduce these balances? Well, if we make payments, if there are any purchase returns, any discounts received, or any set-offs. Alright, good. So we have both sets of information. Now all we need to do is to establish where the balance will be. So remember, at the end of the question, you're going to have two balances as well. One balance is the one that is currently on the sales ledger, and the other one is to tell you what is the total figure for your creditors, right? In other words, what's the balance on your creditors account? So we can put in the figure that's currently on the purchase ledger. We're going to add that to the side that increases because obviously we haven't paid it, so it's there. And we're going to work out the balance for this control, which is what the question requires. So let's plot our information. So the purchase is 35,000. The overdue charge is 135. The dishonored checks 120, and that creditor's balance that we have at the bottom $75. And the figures that are going to reduce this total will be the $2,800 in cash that we paid, along with the $29,600 by check, the returns of $1,200, the discounts of $520, and the set-offs of $1,500. So we can clearly see that if we add up the credit side, it comes out to $43,130. But when we add up the debit side, it will be short. That comes to about 36 or thereabouts. So the balance, then the difference between the two sides is 7,360. That means that the creditor's balance at the end of December is 7,360. So that is one method. The other method is the vertical presentation, or a more modern approach where we're going to use the columns instead. In this case, you need to know what increases the balance and what decreases the balance. You don't have to worry about the sides. Once you add what increases and take away what decreases, you're going to arrive at the answer. So, again, I've set it up. So I've got my three columns. And notice now I'm starting off with the net creditors balance. So I'm just going to subtract those two opening balances just so I can get one figure. So I'll take away the credits and the debits, or debits and the credits, and get the answer. Then I'm going to enter all those things that will increase that balance. So what increases the balance again? The credit purchases, the interest due on the interest on the overdue accounts, and the dishonored checks, the checks that I wrote when I didn't have any money. And the ones that will reduce it will be the payments that I made, the returns, the discounts I received from the suppliers, and the set-offs against our sales. So that then would mean that I'll add back the balance on the book at the end to arrive at my creditors balance carried down for this control. Alright, so let's start off first by finding the net creditors balance at the beginning. So we know that the creditor figure was $7,800 and the debtor figure was $150, so I subtract to get a net figure of $7,650. Now this figure is positive because I'm starting with the side with increases. So I start out with the 76,500, and I want to add all those things that will increase that balance given right there. So I'm adding the 35,000 along with the 135 for the interest overdue and the 120 on the dishonored checks. When we add those together, that gives us a total of 42,905. Alright, next I'm going to take away anything that will reduce that balance. So if I pay in cash, I pay by check, the returns, the discounts, and the set-offs, they will all reduce the balance. So I enter all those numbers, add them together, right? So let's just reset this. Right, so I add them together. I got 35,620 I'm going to subtract that. Something wrong with my mathematics today, bro. Right, so I've subtracted it. And that gives me 7,285. Now I'm going to add back the balance at the end, the 75. And that should give me the 7,360, which is the creditor's balance for this control. Yeah. Well, if you have a headache, take a tablet and the headache will disappear. So, bye.